I don't know what's going on in Paris, but apparently Kevin Durant got time. So if you didn't watch the game yesterday, first of all, an amazing game between Team USA and Serbia. Team USA essentially came back from 20 in a single elimination game. KD was going crazy, Steph was going crazy, Bron, Embiid, not Jason Tatum though, that's another topic for another day. And the saga really starts with friend of the show Swiper Cam's tweet right here, where he says, Serbia just took the most talented team in the history of the planet to the wire with a medal on the line. Team USA was 16-point favorites. The whole country should be proud. Kevin Durant says, where are you from? Holy ratio, by the way. 90K likes to 36K is insane. Just for some context for people who do not know Swiper is a Denver Nuggets fan that does live in America. Really big Jokic guy. But everyone essentially viewed this tweet as, man, you are American. Why are you even rooting for Serbia remotely? And listen, I understand it's funny to dunk on Swiper because Kevin Durant ratioed the fuck out of him. But I don't have a problem with anything Swiper said. I don't think there was a problem with anything Swiper said. I don't think there's a problem with anyone giving Serbia credit for going up against a juggernaut of a team in Team USA, putting them on the brink of elimination given the talent gap. And there is nothing wrong in saying, yo, Serbia has nothing to be ashamed of in a game where they put Team USA on the brink of elimination. Now, mind you, Kevin Durant tweeted this at like 5 a.m. Paris time, by the way, so I don't know if Kevin Durant has insomnia, but he clearly is bored. And then what I'm assuming happened is that the combination of that interaction that we just saw on top of the timeline just going crazy prompted user V8 Tiger Josh Barnett to tweet this out. Learned a lot about U.S. sports culture today. A lot of flexing for only just beating a nation of 6.6 million in a sport they invented. Acting like Jokic fans are committing treason. We here would never do this to a small Pacifica nation in rugby league. We embrace the competition. Kevin Durant then quote retweets that and says, let's talk about the fan culture that's been created recently. A lot of huge egos who believe they are the reason for the advancement of a sport. A lot of idol worship, a lot of hate and division based off of wins and losses. A lot of disrespect to the work being put in by these incredible athletes, mostly by people who don't know what it takes to be good at anything besides talking. Go do something and get out the way. And to be quite frank, Kevin Durant is right on a lot of what he's talking about. I feel like nowadays, more than ever, maybe this is because of how the NBA has marketed their players. Maybe this is how they marketed their teams or lack thereof. And maybe this is just us as a society nowadays, but I truly feel like a lot of y'all are more player fans than team fans, let alone just basketball fans in general. And I'm not going to act like I don't belong in this category. I've made some strides in the other direction, but I feel like a lot of y'all are truly just NBA fans and not real basketball fans. Y'all don't watch college basketball, y'all don't watch high school basketball, y'all don't watch women's basketball, even at the professional level. Y'all don't watch international basketball. You guys just like the NBA. And to his point of people disrespecting these athletes, I honestly can't disagree. I personally try to keep my opinions within the realm of basketball as much as I can, and I feel like I do a pretty good job. But some of y'all be judging these people's characters, some of y'all be judging these people's manlyhood, and it's really cringe, to be honest with you. And even if we are just gonna keep it strict basketball, I feel like a lot of y'all are truly more concerned about pushing your certain narratives, pushing up specifically your favorite player, and in the process do not have a problem with disrespecting other players' legacies. My biggest pushback with KD's tweet right here is the part where he says a lot of huge egos who believe they are the reason for the advancement of a sport. Outside of Stephen A. Smith and fans who are entitled that go to arenas and spit at players and throw their food and, you know, those ignorant fans, I feel like when it comes to sports media, I don't think a lot of us, because I will count myself as part of NBA media now because of how everything is going social and everything is going digital. I don't think a lot of us credit ourselves solely as the reason for the advancement of a sport. I do feel like the growth of the sport is a partnership between the NBA as an entity, its players, its fans, and its media. So I can't say that the media and the fans aren't a part of the growth of the sport. Listen, I understand NBA fans say a bunch of dumb takes, but we gotta stop acting like NBA players are not prone to bad takes. And I'm not just talking about some of them, like a lot of them. All of these NBA player podcasts are proving me right every single day. A lot of NBA players, and rightfully so, because they are just focused on their team, they're focused on being a better player themselves, say a bunch of takes about other NBA players that are just factually wrong. Like, it's not even about having a better take than the other person. They are just saying factually wrong things. They are saying things that legitimately, logically, just do not make sense, and it does not take an NBA player to debunk some of the things that these guys are saying.
Nah, I got skill alone, KD's points. KD is 7 feet. I can do everything Steph Curry can do. Out the post, he can score and pass it. Is he a great free throw shooter? Is he a great three-point shooter? Is he a great dribbler? So you're saying the GOAT, and he ain't even the great in all them categories. Jordan is? Yes.
LeBron was playing in the late 80s, early 90s, he'd be just an average player. Oh my God, why do all the power forwards think this about LeBron? I'm sorry, go ahead, bro. If Rasheed Wallace played today in our league today, he'd be a top 5 player. He'd be better than Giannis.
Jokic is probably statistically the worst MVP winner. He's the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years.
Now, mind you, I need to clarify this. I am not saying NBA players should stop doing podcasts. I truly love the fact that they are doing podcasts. I love the fact that they have their own platforms now instead of the yesteryear where ESPN and TNT controlled all of sports media. I think their voices are absolutely necessary. I believe they add a level of nuance to the game that us as fans just will never understand. But at the same token, I've heard a lot of these NBA players say the exact same bad takes that you would say are bad takes from other NBA fans. And if fans and NBA players can consistently come to the same conclusions despite having different backgrounds, I feel like at that point, what does that really mean? I do believe there's a problem with the NBA community as a whole, including the players, but to make it seem like the problems are just exclusively with analysts and fans, that is not the case. Not the case whatsoever. And then we have Eric Laughlin who says, I'm pretty sure what you just described is just sports. Competition creates division. Fans do make the league how big it is. If no one was watching, no one would know who any of these players are and y'all wouldn't be paid shit. Don't act like this now, talking big because you beat Serbia. Kevin Durant then replies, why do you watch? Eric then says, because it's amazing. The NBA is the best and I enjoy watching such high-level athletes play a game. You being offended that someone wouldn't root for you guys is strange, but I get it. I wanted you guys to win, but I wanted Jokic to do well. Why is that so bad? And then I believe this is a deleted tweet from KD in response to him. He said, you said it right, because of the athletes. Nobody cares who you cheer for, bro. I encourage you to cheer for Jokic. He's an all-time great, but most of y'all are just sore losers. I want more for you. I feel like right here is where KD kind of starts losing me. I feel like this is on some, yo, if you're a fan, just shut the fuck up and watch the game. Don't even tweet about it. Don't even say your own opinion. Just shut the fuck up and cheer. It just feels like at this point, KD's starting to get mad that people are interacting with him on Twitter when the whole point of Twitter is like to interact with people and have discussions. Wes at 6ManYT says this. This is a guy that we've actually reacted on this channel before. Makes good videos. He tweets out this exact thing he's talking about has existed since the inception of the NBA. You think people weren't worshiping MJ or Bird or being divisive then? I hate to be that guy, but it only seems like it's a problem now just because guys like Giannis and Jokic are getting the same treatment. Kevin Durant then says, that's what y'all do. Y'all clowns. Use players to push these corny agendas y'all got. This is a brotherhood, fam, you're not a part of. It's a problem now because social media got you clowns walking around with your chest out like you mean something. You don't. Your takes don't matter. I'm gonna be honest with you, Kevin Durant, you did not attack Wes's point. Wes's point was the fact that all of these things were being done before the social media, way before. When MJ was in the league, when Magic and Bird were in the league, there were already divisive conversations. These top 5 greatest of all time conversations were already being had. And even if that conversation is still too early for you, in the 2000s, when there still wasn't social media, these GOAT conversations were being had. These best in the world conversations were being had. I feel like at this point, this is just Kevin Durant trying to get off the we play basketball, you don't shut the fuck up take over and over and over again. I mean, ultimately, Kevin Durant is right. Like, our takes truly don't matter. We are just talking about a sport. We are just giving our opinions on it. And that's what it is. But then I would say if our opinions and takes truly didn't even matter, then why even tweet out in the first place, let's talk about the fan culture that's been created lately? Like, who cares? Our opinions don't matter. I just feel like Kevin Durant has a pretty consistent, inconsistent track record of him pulling this card of he's one of the greatest to ever do it. He plays basketball at a high level. You don't shut the fuck up. But simultaneously not pulling that card when the agendas are in his favor. When the casual that's talking, that hasn't played at his level and may just be a fan of the game, is saying things that he agrees with. Mind you, this is Kevin Durant a week ago. Probably only person in existence that thinks this, but Kevin Durant will always be my favorite player of all time. First pair of shoes I can remember buying was the KD 6s, which started my love for shoes, and truly is just the most skilled player to ever touch a basketball. Can't change my mind. Kevin Durant in the replies. You're not alone, brother. I appreciate the support. Kevin Durant is a GOAT. Can't name a player in history with his height and skills, We will see a lot of young talent come in like KD because he showed how effective and nasty that could be on the court. I don't feel bad for KD. He's a legend while still playing and a baller. #ball. Kevin Durant, in response to the OG post, jealousy. Kevin Durant is also the same dude who started a podcast with Eddie Gonzalez. Now, from my understanding, the way Eddie and Kevin Durant met was just through the internet. From my understanding as well, and correct me truly if I'm wrong, Eddie Gonzalez is not a former athlete. He's not a former NBA player. He is just another guy on the internet that just likes talking about basketball. And Kevin Durant just loves the way he talks about basketball so much that he started a podcast with Eddie Gonzalez. Now, mind you, I've been following Eddie for a decent amount of time now, and Eddie talks about a lot of the same things that we talk about. The same guy that's been pushing a lot of anti-Embiid narratives throughout these Olympics. The same guy, when he made his announcement about working that complex, says, yes, I hate your favorite team. I hate your favorite player even more. I'm not an intern. I'm not going to read your mentions or comments or DMs. I hope you hate me more now. Now, mind you, this is not to take a diss at Eddie at all. I have no problem with what Eddie's doing, what Eddie's tweets are, what Eddie's points are, all of that. My ultimate point here is just to reiterate again, it just sounds like Kevin Durant only has a problem when narratives are being pushed, when agendas are being made, when it's against him. When people are making the agendas for him, in favor of him, things are fine and dandy. W Media. Now y'all get it. Like, come on, bruh. If you truly have a problem with people pushing agendas, that should be on both sides of the fence. Now, to be fair, though, to not ignore Kevin Durant's whole message, I do think a lot of y'all take this basketball shit way too seriously and get way too nasty with it. I think this year the conversations around Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark got so nasty to a point where we weren't even talking about basketball at one point. And the only reason we're not doing it right now is because the WNBA is at a break. Some of y'all get way too defensive when people don't put your favorite player in their top 5, top 10, top 15 all-time or current list. Some of y'all even go out of y'all way to dox motherfuckers over this shit. People can literally put your favorite player in the same tier as another player, but just because they're 2 spots ahead or 2 spots below where they should be, now it's, oh, this motherfucker's dumb and doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, God damn, relax. Relax. Some of y'all talk way too condescending and act like y'all have this God complex over basketball conversations just because you can cook me in a basketball debate. And I feel like a lot of y'all at this point don't even want to have conversations about basketball. You have your set belief system when it comes to the game, and you will just use every example you can whenever it arises to push your narratives. That's the problem, which Kevin Durant is right about. And especially now on Twitter, now that you can make money directly from the platform. Now, mind you, it's not even a lot. Boy, an extra $50 to $100 a month, because I know y'all are not making much from Twitter, is making y'all say some wild-ass shit on Twitter. Ultimately, it does sound like Kevin Durant hates the media, which, to be fair, with how the media has treated him ever since he left OKC, I don't blame him. But once again, Kevin Durant, you gotta stop acting like you don't care, because you care. Maybe not to a crazy degree, but you definitely care about everything going on, bro. And that's okay. It is fine to care about the conversation, the dialogue, and how the media landscape is when it comes to your specific profession. But with that being said, let me know what you think in the comment section down below about all of this, and also the new editing style. But with that being said, I'm out of here, man. Peace.